So, Hare Krishna, Matajis. Welcome all of you to this session. And today is 3rd of October 2025. And today, the auspicious day of Ekadashi. It's a special program. We will be discussing the importance of association of devotees. Before we start, Om Gyantivarandasya Jnana Janashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपेष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपेष्टाय भूतले श्रीमते महाशिव स्वामी नित्य नामिने See in the nectar of devotion, number 7, it's very beautifully said. The real reason for observing fasting on Ekadashi is to minimize the demands of the body and to engage our time in the service of Krishna by chanting or performing services. And it says the best thing to do on fasting days is to remember the pastimes of Govinda and to hear his holy names constantly. So today's let us first see the glories of this today's Ekadashi. It is known as Pashankusha Ekadashi. See, once there was a fowler. Fowler means who hunts the wild fowl, no, like the ducks, geese, and all those things. So he was a fowler named Mahakrura Krodhan, who used to live in the Vindhya mountains. So he spent all his life committing sins. And at the last moments of his life, Yamaraj approved to bring him to his court. And what happened? All the Yamaraj messengers, they informed him of this thing before the desired time also. And he got scared to death. So what he did, the fowler, he went to Angir Rishi and started pleading so that he would not have to go to Yamaraj's court. So then Angir Rishi suggested that he worship Lord Vishnu on the lunar day of Ashwini month's darker fortnight. The worship of Ekadashi day and fasting on this day liberated him from all sins and he went to Vaikuntha. So let us see the Mahatmya. Maharaj Yudhishthir, he said, "Oh Madhusudana, what is the name of the Ekadashi that occurs during the waxing moon in the month of September, October? Please be kind and explain this to me." So the Lord replied, "O best of the kings, the name of this Ekadashi is Pashankusha Ekadashi. Now please hear from me the glories of this Ekadashi, which destroys all of one's sins. Some people also call this Ekadashi as Papankusha Ekadashi. Papankusha means destroying sins. And he said one should specially worship Lord Padmanabha on the day of this Ekadashi. And this Ekadashi, it awards a person the heavenly pleasures, liberation, desired results. See, just by chanting the holy names of the Lord, one can attain all piety. Or even visiting all the holy places on the earth. That is also in the power of this Ekadashi. And Krishna says, if a conditioned soul, in spite of indulging in various sinful activities due to illusion, right? In spite of this, if he takes shelter and offers obeisances at the lotus feet of Lord Hari, who is an expert in delivering the fallen souls, then such a person does not have to go to hell. Another important point Krishna says is those Vaishnavas who criticize Lord Shiva and those Shaivites who criticize Lord Vishnu are both undoubtedly going to hell. So the result one obtains by performing, see the point is the result one obtains by performing 1000 horse sacrifices or by performing 100 Rajasuya sacrifices. These cannot equal to the 1/16th portion of piety one obtains by following this Ekadashi. You don't have to do all this. Only follow this Ekadashi. So there is no piety in this world that is equal to the piety earned by observing Ekadashi. So therefore, he said, there is no other day as sanctified as this day of Ekadashi, which is very dear to Lord Padmanabha. So he says, O king, as soon as a person fails to observe Ekadashi, the moment person who does fail to observe this Ekadashi, the sins, it begin to reside in the body. So this Ekadashi, it awards heavenly pleasure, liberation, freedom from diseased condition, right? Food grains, wealth, to anyone who observes this. He says, O maintainer of the earth, if one observes this Ekadashi and remains awake on that night, easily goes to the abode of Lord Vishnu. So he says, by observing the vow of this Ekadashi, one can deliver. So this is a very important point. This is actually the first Shruti. Like those who observe this Pashankusha Ekadashi, by observing this, one can deliver 10 generations from his mother's life, 10 generations from his father's family, and 10 generations from his wife's family. This is the power of this, following this Ekadashi, today's Pashankusha. That is, he can deliver 10 generations from his mother's family, 10 generations from his father's family, and 10 generations from his wife's family. So if a person observes this Ekadashi, either in his childhood or youthhood or even in his old age, he does not suffer the miseries of the material existence. And one who strictly observes this Pashankusha or Papankusha Ekadashi, then all his sinful reactions, they are eradicated. And at the end of his life, he returns to the abode of the Lord. Anyone who spends his day without engaging in pious activities is like a dead man, although he can be breathing. His breathing is compared to the bellows of the blacksmith. So a person who digs well and lakes for the benefit of others, donates land, houses, performs other pious activities, such as performing sacrifices, right? He is not subjected to the punishment of Yamaraj. So as a result of this piety, only people see as a result of piety only people live long lives, become rich, take birth in high class families, and become diseaseless. See, the purpose is that the direct result of observing this Ekadashi is to attain devotional service to Krishna. This is a direct result. And the indirect result is to attain temporary material benefits. You may get all those other things, but the direct result is getting the devotional service to Krishna. So this is a Mahatmya of this wonderful. So main thing is 10 generations of mother's family, 10 generations of father's family, and 10 generations of wife's family. They can all be delivered. So let's come to the theme for today's class. What is the theme? Anybody knows what is the theme for this today's class?
Association with the devotees.
Yes, absolutely. Very nice. Thank you very much. So, importance of the devotee association. See, Srila Prabhupada, he established ISKCON so that the the genuine seekers, genuine seekers can associate with each other and encourage each other to practice devotion to Krishna. That's why Bhagavatam 4:12-37 tells the destination of those who associate only with the devotees of Krishna. So just recite this beautiful verse. Shanta samadrishak shuddha sarvabhutanuranja yantyanjasa yuchyata padam yantyanjasa yuchyata padam achyuta priya bhantavaha. The translation says, translation by Srila Prabhupada here. Persons who are peaceful, equipoised, cleansed, and purified, and who know the art of pleasing all other living entities, keep friendship only with devotees of the Lord. They alone can very easily achieve the perfection of going back home, back to Godhead. So this, the description of this verse, it fully indicates that only devotees are eligible to enter the kingdom of God. See, so the purport, Gopal mentions, without the association of devotees, one cannot advance in Krishna consciousness. So therefore, he says, therefore, we have established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. In fact, see, whoever lives in this society automatically develops Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada's this wonderful purpose lectures, it highlights the need of devotees association many times. He has done it. So association, it plays a very vital role in shaping our destiny. It is said that we are the sum total of the people we associate with. Okay, so let us see one by one how association affects us. See, let us all pause for a few minutes and reflect on our life. Okay, especially on the qualities which we have and we appreciate. First point, qualities which we have and which we appreciate. And secondly, the qualities which we have, but we do not like and we want to give it up. Two things, right? Qualities which we have and we appreciate, and the qualities which we have, but we do not like it and we want to give it up. So let us try to figure out how did we develop these qualities. See, some of our qualities are from childhood days, right? And some we acquired in the later part of our life, either in school or college or somewhere else. See, in almost all the cases, we will find that the good and or bad qualities which we have, we inculcated from others. See, for example, no one learns to smoke or drink from the womb of his mother, his or her mother. No, right? See, if you ask any smoker or drinker, he will tell you that he imitated someone, or someone convinced him to indulge in it, right? So similarly, if you appreciate some good quality in others, and if you go and ask them about it, he will tell you that he got inspired by someone and so started applying it in his life. So it is very important that we choose our association very carefully. Not just people around us, okay? But things around us also affects our psyche. How things affects our consciousness, very, very beautifully explained by Mother Sita. She tells the story to Lord Ram when they were in the forest during the exile. There was a sage who was doing severe penance in the forest. Indra, the king of heaven, okay, he became very worried that he may lose his kingdom to that sage because he was doing very great penance. So Indra wanted to somehow stop the sage from doing penance. So one day, Indra, fearful Indra, right? He went to the forest dressed like as a soldier to meet the sage. So he was carrying a sword with him, soldier, right? So when he met the sage, he bowed down to him and requested him to guard his sword till he returns back from some urgent work. So he gave the sword to the sage. So the sage promised to keep the sword very safe. The sage had given his word, right, to properly take care of the sword. So what happened? The sage always carried the sword with him wherever he went. So when he goes to pluck the flowers and fruits for the puja and right worshipping, he carried the sword. And while doing penance also, he was cautious to take care of the sword. So how did this sword impact his sage's life? See, slowly the sage started developing cruel nature. He started using the sword to cut tree branches and plants for flowers and fruits. Earlier he was just plucking, right? And not just that. Slowly he started even attacking and killing animals with the sword. Gradually became extremely cruel. Everyone started fearing him. Innocent animals would run away, fearing seeing him, right? Even other sages who were doing penance in the forest, they left that place and went somewhere else. He lost all his accumulated piety and became a cruel person. And see, Indra never came back. to take back his sword. His only intention was to disrupt, right? To sage who actually had a great destination. He became a ruthless killer just by associating with the sword. He went to hell after that. So these stories are there in our scriptures to help us understand the consequences of wrong association in our life. So whether it's the people we associate with or the things we associate with, we have to be very careful. See, just by associating with a sword, the sage, he lost all his saintly qualities. So we have to be very careful, right? Not only with the people we associate, okay, but with also the things we associate with. So with the things association with gadgets, that's also be very, very, very careful. So these days, everyone carries a mobile. Bhagavad Gita, right? I was about to say everyone carries a Bhagavad Gita. No, everyone carries a mobile. It has become a necessity. But if we do not use it carefully, we will be in great trouble. Guaranteed is guaranteed. See, just like a weapon of mass destruction can create havoc on earth, similarly, mobile, if not used very correctly and rightly, with it judiciously, it can create havoc in our life. We will not realize it. Subtly, it will work. So, mobile addiction has become so common these days. See, just like the sage who was always carrying the sword with him, right? We too have a sword that is mobile with 24 hours a day. When we sleep, our mobile also lies with us on the bed. Even in bathroom also, we carry the mobile. No place is safe. Our mobile, it has got high-speed internet connection, right? And so with this little gadget, we can see anything and can do anything. We can waste tons of time on mobile browsing social media, watching videos, playing games. This will surely degrade our consciousness and take us away from Krishna. See, the more time which we utilize in just browsing and all these things in the mobile, how much time we are not thinking of Krishna? We are not thinking. We're supposed to think 24 hours of Krishna, right? Completely taken away. And it is more time rather than doing chanting. Chanting 2 hours you will do, but other all the hours, mobile phone. So it is advisable to use the gadgets very carefully. It is not that don't use it very carefully. Only when we need them. The basic purpose of mobile, which was initially came, was for to speak, right? To call or receive calls and then speak. That's all. Now we have it is known as smartphone. Who uses a smartphone? People who are not smart, they use smartphone. If you are smart, you will never use the smartphone. So most importantly, not to do anything with it, which takes us away from Krishna. We have to think. It should not take us away from Krishna. Association of exalted devotees will give the exalted destination. See, if we study the life of great spiritual personalities, right? Great devotees from Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, we find that they were very careful as how they spend their time. Not only devotees as per Bhagavatam, even we can see the acharyas around us, right? Not only Indians, foreigners. They're very careful how they spend their time and with whom they spend their time. Not even a single moment they wasted. First, they would give up the association of non-devotees and the things which may hamper their devotional journey. Then they would make sure that they would only associate with sincere devotees of Krishna. See, just as the sun rays, it can immediately dispel all darkness. Similarly, association of sincere devotees can enlighten our heart. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni underlines the importance of associating with exalted devotees while he was narrating the story to Vyasadeva about his life, right? So Narada Muni says that his life got totally transformed when he got the opportunity to associate with great devotees of Lord Krishna for 4 months in the Chaturmasya, right? Along with his mother. So he said by serving these great personalities, Narada was in his previous life son of a maid servant. He developed transcendental qualities. See, Chaitanya Charitamrita says that one achieves complete success in life if one gets an opportunity to associate with the devotee of Krishna even for a moment. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kaya Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hai. Lava Matra, just a moment. So the verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with the pure devotee, one can attain all success. See, people may be just roaming around, right? And that's why we do this Harinam. They may not be devotees, but when they see the Harinam, just by seeing just a moment's association with that names, hearing the names, you will never know. Automatically, it creates the piety in you and try to chant and everything. It comes, it affects you. The same thing by seeing the hoardings of all the advertisements and all these things, that also affects you. The greatest, the eye is the greatest, the window which brings in all the sins. Because we see all this, so we should always see good things, hear good things, right? So therefore, from the statements of like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and all the acharyas, we should understand from the disciplic succession, the authority, that those who want Krishna always they associate with those people, with those and with those things that can give them Krishna. So Prabhupada established ISKCON so that, as we said, genuine seekers they can associate with each other, can encourage each other to practice devotion to Krishna. That's why this 4, 12, 37 Bhagavatam tells the destination of those who associate only with devotees of Krishna. So what did he say? The translation was very beautiful, right? Persons who are peaceful, equipoised, cleansed, and purified, and who know the art of pleasing all other living entities, keep friendship only with the devotees of the Lord. They alone can very easily achieve the perfection of going back home, back to God. So this means we are the sum total of the 5 people we associate. So people who are peaceful, equipoised. So if we want to become a sincere devotee, then we should seek the association of sincere devotees. If we do so, we will have a great future. So we should try our best, okay, to surround ourselves with those devotees who are sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness 24 hours a day. Because in their association, we will develop taste for devotional life. We will become a dear devotee of Krishna and will attain ultimately the love of Krishna. See, in Bhagavatam 11:3:30, the translation it is a very beautiful verse. Parasparankuta parasparanukathanam pavanam bhagavadeshah mito ratirmitastushtir nirvittirmita atmanah. One should learn how to associate with devotees of the Lord by gathering with them to chant the glories of the Lord. So this process is most purifying. As devotees thus develop their loving friendship, they feel mutual happiness and satisfaction. And by thus encouraging one another, they're able to give up material sense gratification, which is the cause of all suffering. In the purport of this verse, according to Srila Sridhara Swami, those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness should not envy one another or quarrel among themselves. Giving up all such mundane feelings, they should gather together and chant the glories of the Supreme Lord for mutual purification. That's why congregation chanting, right? Chant together. That's why Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura he has pointed out that the glorification of the Supreme Lord is especially potent when performed in the association of pure devotees. And when devotees engage in Sankirtana, chanting glories of the Lord together, their experience they experience what? The highest transcendental bliss and satisfaction. When we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, by engaging the objects of the senses in Krishna's service, one automatically becomes detached from them. See, as one passes one's days in the association of the Lord's devotees, right? One's transcendental ecstasy increases and more, right? And through the discussions about the topics of Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita, it increases. So one who wants to be free, if you want to be free from the harassment of Maya in the form of sense gratification, right? You must constantly associate with pure devotees of the Lord. And the pure devotees, they don't have any other engagement other than just chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord and then carrying out the Lord's mission. See, to illustrate the supreme value of spiritual association, Prabhupada writes, as fire is kindled from wood by another fire, The divine consciousness of man can similarly be kindled by another divine grace. So his divine grace, the spiritual master, he can kindle the spiritual fire from the wood-like living entity by imparting proper spiritual messages injected through the receptive ear. Receptive ear. Bhagavatam 1, 2, 32, the purport of first canto, second chapter, 32nd verse, purport. Prabhupada says. See, although the wood includes fire in this fire, right? Wood includes the fire in the sense it has the potential to burn. A piece of wood will always remain dull wood, right? No matter how dry or inflammable it might be, unless it contacts fire. Similarly, each one of us needs to make contact with someone who is, so to speak, on fire with devotional consciousness or Krishna conscious, so that our spiritual potential may be realized. See, another Vedic analogy says that just as a fertile woman must receive the help from a man to conceive a child, any person, no matter how qualified, must receive the seed of spiritual life from Krishna's pure devotees. And from that seed grows the plant of devotion to Krishna. See, after the initial wonderful event of receiving into our heart the divinely potent words of the Guru, what happens? Our devotional plant, it requires regular watering so that it may grow strong and healthy. So that's why Prabhupada formed this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, so that the members could regularly meet together and fulfill the purpose of such verses. And one of the verses, 10.9, seed verse. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. 10.9 Bhagavad Gita. And in Bhagavatam 3:25-25, it summarizes the results of meetings of devotees. It says, Prabhupada says, in the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. So by cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation. And thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotion service begins. So you might wonder where to find pure devotees. And if you could ever be an ordinary devotee, what to speak of a pure one, right? Of course, it is highly desirable to associate with advanced devotees. See, sometimes you might live away from devotees in the Krishna conscious movement, right? So what can we do to get regular Krishna conscious association? How can we get it? So that these two verses which we just saw, right? 10.9 and 3:25-25 can still apply to us. When we consider that the term pure devotee can refer either to the most elevated devotee or to neophyte sincerely trying to become a devotee. Srila Prabhupada once said that all his disciples were pure devotees. So we can find other people in our area who are interested in practicing Krishna consciousness and associate with them. We can meet together, right? We apply the principles of Srila Rupa Goswami, who outlines 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. That is, giving and receiving gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, offering and receiving prasadam, food offered to Krishna, right? So we can hold meetings in one another's houses, homes, chant Hare Krishna together, worship Krishna, share the prasadam, read and discuss Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, share with one another our efforts to practice spiritual life, and plan how we can help spread Krishna consciousness. Now, because regulation is essential to the practice of Krishna consciousness, we should try to meet regularly with the other aspiring devotees of Krishna. So, out of this Vaidhi Bhakti, that is regulated devotion service, from here grows the Ragana Bhakti. Ragana means spontaneous devotion service, and which can mature into pure love for Krishna. So, there are 9 stages of Bhakti Yoga. First is Shraddha, faith, Shraddha. Then comes Sadhu Sangha, the association with devotees. That's what we saw. What is the importance of devotees, right? So first we should have faith. Then slowly the sadhu sangha. And afterwards, from the sadhu sangha, what happens? Bhajana kriya. Then we start performing devotional service. And then when we start, anartha nivritti, unwanted attachments decrease. And then thereby we become steady. That is nishta. Steadiness comes. And when we are steady, then slowly the taste develops. Ruchi. Right? Shraddha, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, nishta, and ruchi. And from that, asakti, attachment to the glories of the Lord, right? Then develops the bhava. And ultimately, prema, pure love for Krishna. So this is in the Bhakti Rasamrita. So you can see that's very beautifully. These 9 stages of bhakti, right? So in the beginning, there must be faith. Then one becomes interested in associating with pure devotees. So thereafter, one is initiated by the spiritual master and he executes the regulative principles under his orders. Thereby, one is freed from all unwanted habits and becomes finally fixed in devotional service. And therefore, thereafter, one develops taste and attachment. So this is the way of sadhana bhakti. Execution of devotional service according to the regulative principles. So gradually, what happens? Emotions intensify, and finally, there is an awakening of love. So this is a gradual development of love of Godhead for the devotee interested in Krishna consciousness. These very important points, a few of the points, not just a few. So we saw some very interesting points which will inspire each one of us to associate with devotees and how to deal and how to association is fine. What should we do after associating, right? So how it affects us, we have seen. So importance of devotee association we saw today. How association affects us, this we saw. Then we saw the story, right? The sage, how he becomes a killer later on, becomes very cruel because of the association of the sword. The sword, that is the sword, it will impact on sage's life. So similarly, the mobile phone, please be careful. It affects, takes us away from Krishna. So we should associate with such thing, people and thing, which can always make us remember Krishna rather than taking us away from Krishna. So associate with gadgets also, we should be very careful. We should always think, right, how much time am I wasting? How much time am I utilizing for Krishna service? So we saw associating with exalted devotees will give us exalted destination. What is the final destination? Go back home, back to Godhead. And then we'll have the great future just by associating few devotees for which Krishna Prabhupada has given this wonderful platform as it's called. Just come together, just the full package, getting up early in the morning, doing Mangalarti till the night to go to the bed, sleeping, right? Chanting Mangalarti, Tulsi Arti, Nasimha Arti, right? The chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, then Bhagavatam class, right? Then Prasadam, of course, I should not forget Prasadam. Prasadam is the basic thing. So this association of devotees is very, very important. So we saw some of the good points we could imbibe and put into practice in our daily lives. So I stop here. Thank you very much, Motherji. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Shri Prabhupada Jai. Bhagavat Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhavaya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna
Thank you.
Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
everybody.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, the
Thank
Lord.
you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna to
devotees,
all
Hare Krishna
devotees
Sri
present here.
Ramachandra
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank you
Krishna.
for your
Thank you.
wonderful class, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.